Hi everyone, welcome back. So first of all, I gessoed my paper because I wanted my watercolour to sit on top of the paper this time. So I've now added some circles of paper with some writing on some that I got. So I cut them out and stuck them on. You could use gel medium is best, but you could use any kind of glue, a pritt stick or whatever. I used here a gel pen in a gold colour for the background, starting to do the Neuro lines, but then I went over the top of them with a black permanent marker, because well, you couldn't see them very well and it didn't work out how I quite wanted it. So I did some Neuro lines over the top and then did my connections. When you do your Neuro lines, try to do all that in one go without stopping. So you're doing all your Neuro lines and your connections as well. While you're doing those connections and things, try to continue until you get to the end of that, so that without any interruptions, so that you get that calming feeling while you're doing it. Although at the end of the day you are creating a piece of art, the Neuro side of it, it's very important, and I want you to be able to feel relaxed and content in the work that you're doing. So I concentrated now on doing them more as Neuro lines, and that's why they're quite wobbly, and I took my time doing this. I didn't just draw some lines across it. I took my time, and it was very relaxing. I enjoyed it. Lets the pressures of the day just dissolve, and wherever the lines crossed over, I just did a connection afterwards. So that's a perfect line there, ready to just do the connection in the middle. But I did all my lines first and then I did the connections. Made sure I got even lines going across the page, and that I felt comfortable with how it looked. It has to look comfortable, it has to feel comfortable and look comfortable as well. So if there's any gaps you feel that doesn't seem right, then where I'm just about to put one now, that was where I could see a gap, and you just have to sort of feel how you're doing it. So here I'm just drawing a little random circle now, just a wobbly circle. I didn't want this circle to be perfectly round, that's not what I got the feeling of doing. So so now I'm trying to start and turn these into little wheels of all different kinds and connections and cogs and gears and all sorts of things to make it a little bit steampunk actually. I don't see why not. The collage papers underneath really set it off, and I'll be painting over those with like a see-through glaze shortly. So just checking now and going through the connections. I don't know why I did that wheel before I actually did the connections. Probably if I did this piece of art again, I would make sure I did my connections first, because it's just so relaxing. And if you've got a small cross like in the top left hand corner, then you can do a smaller connection, and if it's going right across the centre of somewhere, you might want to do a larger connection just to make it look nice as well as feel nice. So now I'm just randomly doing some different markings going around these circles of collage that I've put on, and I just cut these out. I've got like a big cutter and a small cutter, and just because I've been doing a bit of junk journaling, which has been quite enjoyable, I thought it would be nice to use up some of these scraps instead of just like leaving them in the bag and not going to use them. And because they got all writing on and everything, I thought they looked quite effective. so when you paint over the top you'll be able to see the writing through. Because at the moment, if I left the picture, you could leave the picture as it is, but if I left the picture as it is now, but I thought the circles, they looked a little pale. I like my work to be quite vibrant, so yeah. But if you like your work to be a little bit more pale and a bit more calmer, then that's the way to go. You pick your colours for your background and things to be a little bit more, well, just a bit more calm, you know. Or you might want to pick cooler colours, you know. It's entirely up to you. So using my black marker pen, this is a permanent marker that's very important. You must remember this, a permanent marker. If you don't use a permanent marker, then when you go to paint over the top, it's just going to smudge everywhere. You do get slight smudges still, even with a permanent marker, so you do have to be careful and let it dry. So here I'm just drawing on, I've speeded it up a little bit now, drawing on some like random cog shapes, wobbly ones, and some gears and some spokes and nuts and bolts and things, and like the gear and a belt going around the circles. Now adding some colour, that rustic colour that I love, just made with this like deep maroon colour, and then you add in your yellows and your oranges and a different kind of a red and a little bit of brown, and then you can vary it about. Very enjoyable. The background now, watercolour all on top. It sits on top of the gesso, which is the effect that I like. And then I've used my eyebrow soap mole, and then just splash that, you know, the alcohol spray, and then just splash that on top as well, which is giving it like a underwater effect. And then I've done some splatters over the top of red and deep red and black, just you know, randomly anywhere where I thought it would look nice. And I think it's come out quite effective. Just peeling off the tape, had a bit of a problem peeling off the tape because the collage had gone over the edge. So take your time, and here we are. You can still see the writing through the glaze that I've done of colour, and that gives it a nice effect. So you can do whatever it is that you want. So it's a good idea. You could even cut out some circles if you didn't have any, and you could write on them whatever you wanted. You could write down your daily worries, or your notes from the day that you've enjoyed, or little poems, or whatever that you want. You could write in your circles. But if you do write in your circles, then remember, use a permanent marker, because it's very important, otherwise it's going to smudge and smear. Well, I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I'll talk to you all again soon, and I hope that you like the end result. Nice when you can see it nice and bright. Bye.